Aye, lads. Time for card reviews. Alright, we got down to the multicoloured cards. Recap from yesterday, anything good? There was one good card, and it's been proactively nerfed to not be good anymore. So, these are the new Baldur's Gates cards. They're coming out on the 7th of July, 4 days from now. I'll be playing it on the 5th on stream in the pre-release event thing in 2 days, so that should be fun. This is the first set in a long time that's not going into standard, so it's only for Alchemy and Historic, and therefore our card review technique is slightly different. Because, well, we're not reviewing it for standard, right? It's got to be good enough for Alchemy or Historic to see play, and that is a much, much, much higher bar. So, just to manage your expectations here, almost every single card that we see, I'm going to say this sucks. Some of the ones that I say suck are good enough for standard, but that is completely irrelevant because you can't use them there. Let's go. John Erenikin, the Exile. 4 mana 3/5 Elf Wizard. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if your library has more cards in it than opponent's library. Otherwise, each opponent mills 5 cards. Pretty bad. Even if you're playing mill, pretty bad, because why are you playing black in your mill deck? Liara of the Flaming Fist. 2 mana 2/2. At the beginning of each combat, each creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn if it has the same name as another creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard. And for 3, another target non-token creature you control gains first strike and double team until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery and only once. John's kinda good. No way is it good. 4 mana 3/5. No ETB. Draws a card on end step sometimes. I sleep, man. Legendary 2-drop. No haste. Very, very small effect that sometimes doesn't even work. Bad. Minthara of the Absolute. 4 mana 2/4. Cleric. Starting intensity 0. Creatures you control get +X/+0, where X is intensity. Whenever one or more permanents you control leave the battlefield, perpetually increase Minthara's intensity and the intensity of cards named Minthara of the Absolute in your hand, library, and graveyard by 1. This ability triggers only once per each turn. Awful. Tasha, Unholy Archmage. Until your next turn, whenever a creature attacks you or Tasha, put a counter on that creature. -1/-1. -2, target opponent puts a creature card of their choice from their graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That creature gains ward 2. Excuse me? That's absolutely crazy. That is good, right? -2, you reanimate your opponent's worst creature and give it ward 2. That's pretty good. And then -6, reveal card from top of library until they reveal 3 creatures. And then, so -6, you reanimate opponent's top 3 creatures. Okay. I mean, honestly, the -6 is kind of decent too. 4 starting loyalty, -6 is a game-winning ult. Seems pretty good, I think, that one. Alder Ravengard, Marshal. 3 mana 3/3. When an ETB, another target non-token creature you control gains double team until end of turn. Whenever it attacks, conjure a duplicate of another target non-token attacking creature into your hand. Whenever it attacks, conjure a duplicate of another target non-token attacking creature into your hand. This card is surely good enough for Alchemy. 3 mana 3/3. Comes into play, give your other creature double team, attack with the other creature, make a copy of that other creature into your hand, and then if you get to attack with this, you can essentially make a copy again. That one seems pretty good too. Alondo the Seer, 4 mana 3/5. Tap, draw a card, exile a card from hand, put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value. It gains when the last time counter is removed from this card. If it's exiled, you may cast it with its its cost. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn, then remove a time counter from each other card you own in exile. Okay, that one's terrible. Astarion the Decadent, 6 mana 4/4, Death Touch lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, choose 1. Opponent loses life equal to the amount of damage you've dealt, or gain life equal to the amount of life you've gained. That one's bad too. Baba Lysaga Night Witch, 4 mana 3/3. 3 mana 3/3. Tap, sack up to 3 permanents. If there were 3 or more card types among the sacrificed permanents, each opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life, and you draw 3 cards. I mean, if you get to use this ability, you get a lot of shit. Not the worst card we've seen so far, but the 3-drops with tap effects are yikes. And not in a good way. This plus Circuit Mender. Yeah, cool. Catibri of Mithril Hall. 2/2 first striker reach. When it attacks, put a counter on it for each equipment. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest. Awful. Gorian Wise Mentor. 3 mana 3/4 Vigilance. Whenever you cast an adventure spell, you may copy it. Lucky Clover. Lucky Clover creature? I mean, so Alchemy, no, there's no adventures, and historic adventures suck. Therefore the card sucks. It's a shame. Jan Jansen, Chaos Crafter. 3 mana 3/3 haste. Tap, sack an artifact creature, create 2 treasure tokens. Tap, sack a non-creature artifact, create 2 1/1 creature tokens. Alright, so this guy just goes off, huh? This plus Anvil deck. You get immediate value, you've got your 3/3 body. It scales by itself. Gas. Very good. Maybe one of the best cards so far. This is an easy, very good card. Kaga Shadow Archdruid, 4 mana 1/4. When it attacks against Death Touch until end of turn, mill 2 cards. Once during each of your turns, you may play a land or cast a permanent spell from among cards in your graveyard that were put there from your library this turn. It's too much mana, man. Too much mana. Kalane, we know. Corlessa Scale Singer. 2 mana 1/4, look at the top card of your library at any time, cast Dragon spell from the top of your library. Dragon Snoop. Hey, Snoop is good, so Dragon Snoop's probably good too. Simic is trash though. Yeah, who said you have to only play 2 colours? You can play Teamer, right? I mean, I don't know if Dragon Tribal will be good, but this is clearly a good card for Dragon Tribal as long as you're actually playing a lot of dragons. The problem for this card is that most of the time Dragon Tribal ends up being 12 dragons and 40 instants rather than the other way around. Lausanne Dragon's Legacy. 5 mana 4/2 flyer. Oof. When you cast an adventure or dragon spell, deal damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander. So bad. Mazi True Sword Paladin, 4 mana 3/4. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks one of your opponents, +2/+0 and trample. Whenever an aura you control is put into your graveyard from battlefield, exile it until the end of your next turn, you may cast that card. Alright. Also trash. Mirim Sentinel Worm. 6 mana 6/6 flying ward 2. When a non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary. You get to keep the tokens, but that is a 6 mana do nothing. Therefore, it's very bad. This is good. How is it good, man? This is the most expensive card in your deck, and then it wants you to cast other cards after that. I tried to say horrible and terrible, and I mixed them up the opposite way both times. But it is horrible and terrible. Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes. When Minsk and Boo Timeless Heroes enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create Boo. Okay, you get a creature just for playing it. Put 3 counters on up to 1 target creature with trample or haste. Huh? 4 mana 4/4. Trample, haste, and a 4 loyalty planeswalker? Alright, this thing is absolutely insane. -2, sack a creature. When you do, Minsk and Boo deals X damage to any target where X is that creature's power. If the sacrificed creature was a hamster, draw X cards. What in the world, man? You get a 4 mana 4/4 with Trample Haste and 4 Loyalty, and then the next turn you -2, sack it, deal 4 to any target, and draw 4 cards? Already nerfed. Of course. I mean, it's a fun card, right? It's nerfed. 5 mana. Rip. Nalia Diarnis. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, Wizard spells from the top of your library, or Party Girl. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain Death Touch until end of turn. Well, that's obviously good. Big party card, but party is just unplayable because of Meathook Massacre, man. Party ends up just being shit Angels, right? Because you can't scale out a range of Meathook Massacre like you can with Angels, and otherwise they're just the same deck. Nira Wild Mage. Whenever you cast a spell, you may put it on the bottom of your library. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library. Until you reveal a non-land card, you may cast that card without paying its cost, then put the rest on the bottom at once per turn. 6 mana, 2/7, and then you cast a 1 mana spell and try and high roll an Opus. No flash, no nothing. 2/7 is a weird stats though, isn't it? You don't see 2/7 every day. Okay, very, very bad. Oji, the Exquisite Blade. 4 mana, 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, gain 2 life, scry 2. When you cast your second spell, exile target creature you control, bounce it. Bad. Prosper Tomebound. 4 mana, 1/4 Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, exile top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure. 4 mana, 1/4 Death Touch. Draw a card every turn, make a treasure if you cast it. Raga Draga Gorgut's Boss. 4 mana, 4/4. Each creature you control with a mana ability gets +2/+2 whenever a creature you control with a mana ability attacks, untap it. And whenever you cast a spell, if it's at least 7 mana, untap target creature, it gets +7/+7 and gains trample until end of turn. Buff Mana Dorks +2/+2. Give them Vigilance, and if you cast a big spell, you get damage. Are there even enough Mana Dorks in Alchemy to use this? Well, you need a deck with this, a lot of Mana Dorks, and some cards that cost at least 7. So question 1, are there any Mana Dorks? And question 2, are there any spells that cost 7 that are good? Titan's a 7 mana spell that's pretty good, yeah. True. Catilda Humans. Okay, but Catilda Humans doesn't have any 7 mana cards. And also only has 1 Mana Dork. I'm very interested in this one, chat, but you just need to spend 7 mana on a spell. Yeah, like what, man? Like what? It buffs your manlands. Okay, cool. That's pretty good, sure. But this card goes in a very specific deck, huh? The whole deck is lands, Mana Dorks, Raga Dragas, removal, and spells that cost 7. That's the entire deck. So we need some spells that cost 7, and we need some Mana Dorks. There's no other cards in the deck. You tell me what those are, and we'll make the deck. Magma Opus. You can play spells with flashback 7 mana or more. Okay, man. Like what? Any actual real examples, or are we just theorizing cards that don't exist? X cards would count. Yeah, I get that. But again, there's no X cards in Alchemy, right? Not really any great ones. And this card's unplayable in Historic, so this is an Alchemy only card. Storm is only 6 mana, guys. Who cares about Alchemy? This is about Historic. This card is absolutely unplayable in Historic. Titan I think is a good one. But these cards are legal only in Alchemy and Historic, and the draft format, of course. No Standard, no Explorer. So that's why we're having to be a bit more ruthless with our judgment on the cards. Alchemy and Historic are both very strong formats, huh? So the card's got to be very, very good to be playable. Agent of Treachery costs 7, yeah, but Agent of Treachery is nerfed in Historic and not available in Alchemy. It'll probably just be a Titans, I imagine. I don't think there'll be anything too much better for 7 than Titan. But, I mean, the 7 mana card is not the main problem. The main problem is, can you fill the rest of your deck with Gruul removal and Mana Dorks? I'm not sure enough Mana Dorks even exist. But we'll definitely be trying it. Or at least we'll be seeing if there is. The card is clearly very good if you can actually fill your deck with the cards that need to be in it. Raphael, Fiendish Savior. 5 mana 4/4 flyer. Other devils, demons, imps, and tieflings you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. Lifelink's a good word. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature card was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create a devil. Create a 1/1 pleb. Seems shit. Thrakkus the Butcher. 3/4 trample for 5. When it attacks, double the power of each dragon you control until end of turn. Pog. Alright, 5 mana Minsk. Wait, they nerfed this thing? To 4 mana 4/4? This card is dog shit anyway. Huh? It's not even good when it costs 3, man. Okay. Weird. Bag of Holding. Basilisk Collar. Death Touch Lifelink. Death Touch Lifelink, huh? I mean, those are words. Bronze Walrus. 3 mana 2/2, not we sleep. 6 mana 4/4 flyer. Fraying Line. 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, put a rope counter on target creature you control. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player may pay 2. If they do, they put a rope counter on a creature they control. Otherwise, exile Fraying Line and each creature without a rope counter on it, then remove all rope counters from all rope creatures. I cannot parse that text. That is some like programmer shit. Sometimes I make a joke that I can't understand what a card does, but I literally don't know what this does. I put a rope counter on my own creature. It goes to opponent's turn, their upkeep. If they pay 2, they put a rope counter on their own creature. Then there's 1 rope counter on each creature. If they don't, exile Fraying Line, and my creature stays and all other creatures get removed. Okay, so say they do pay 2, they put a rope counter on their creature, it comes to my turn. Alright, that seems absolutely terrible. Mirror of Life Trapping. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it was cast, exile it, then return all other permanent cards exiled with Mirror of Life Trapping to the battlefield under their owner's control. So this card is good if you're playing Blinkies and your opponent is playing a normal creature deck. Otherwise it's utterly useless. If your creatures have ETBs and theirs don't, that's when you want to use this card. Navigation Orb. Sack 3 mana, 2 mana sack it, search for 2 lands, 5 mana cultivate, okay. Lands. In ETB tapped for 4. Dude, this activate only once thing, it actually does mean activate it only once, huh? It's not once per turn. What the fuck? Tapped. So this is a tapped castle Lochthwain that you can use one time. What? Right, what the hell is this? Pay mana and discard a color or land type of your choice to change your card to that new card with its effects. The change depends on which color you discarded. Specialize is too long to explain in chat. Well, I mean, I think I get it. Dude, I ain't reading that, man. You've lost your mind. Right. I play Clement, Novice Acolyte. I discard a black land and I make this. But why would you so all of these cards are just awful, right? Why would you don't want to discard your cards, man? English is hard for some of y'all, and it shows. English specialist. Y'all is not a real word. Imagine specializing. It makes no sense. Fuck y'all. Fuck you, y'all. Mr. Crook, what do we think of the set? It seems like could be fun. Rate every specialized cards. I honestly I don't like what I don't understand what you do. So you use a card to play Clement onto the board, and then I also have to pay 2 mana again, and discard another card just to flip it into one of these. Bro, are you crazy? And I can't even discard a land, right? Or I guess you can discard some lands, but not all of them though. Only basics and triomes really, right? And sorcery speed, so they can instant speed remove my guy, and I've just discarded a card for no reason. And I've paid the mana, yeah. Alright, so what's the best one? Tell me what the best one is, and we'll consider that one. Red Pyro? Red Pyro. There's no Red Pyro? Shadow Heart. What? This one. Ambergris. Okay, 3/2 haste. When it attacks, you may discard your hand and draw 2 cards. And I can specialize into for 3 and a discard. I can get +1/+1 stats. Okay, we're not playing it in Boros. We're not playing it in Izzet. We're not playing it in Rakdos. We're not playing it in Mono Red. On another creature? Bro, what do you mean another You can't have another creature on the board because you spent the whole fucking game just building fucking Lego on this goddamn card. There's no other creature on the board. Turn 3 you play this, turn 4 you're also essentially playing this too. It's the same thing. There's no other creature on the board. Alright, so you're telling me this is the best one? I mean, you can't... The card is okay. Like, if you never specialize it. Black Rare. Shadow Heart. 2 mana, 2/2 Death Touch. Specialize to only if player has 13 or less life. At the beginning of your end step, deal 1 damage to each player. That one is approaching a pass. We'll keep it for now. At the beginning of an end step, deal 1 damage to each player. Also, maybe. Okay, this one seems pretty good, I think. Whenever you lose life during your turn, deal that much damage to each opponent. Alright, that one's terrible. A Danto combo? What do you mean a Danto combo? It's not a Danto combo. You can't have another. You won't have another creature on the board ever. When are you fucking casting the Adanto, man? Turn 2? Okay, genius. So when are you casting the Shadow Heart? Turn 3. Okay, cool. So what are you doing with your other mana on turn 3? Turn 4, Adanto Specialized GG. Guys, that's not a deck, okay? That is not a deck. That's a draw. If you're gonna do this, you also have to gain 1 life at some point too. Mardu, Shadow Heart, Adanto Vanguard, life gain. Alright, well, it sounds sick. Want to bet this card is going to be played a lot? I think this card could be good, yes. But you're not playing it to fucking combo with Adanto Vanguard. Yes, you are. No, you're not, man. You're crazy. Green one is can't be blocked. Whenever you lose life, put a counter. I don't know, chat. I don't know. Shadowheart looks like it is maybe okay. This card is kind of good, I think, as long as you don't use the Specialize ever. Red Rare Tiefling. 2 mana 2/2 first strike. What? So the first one is a 2 mana 2/2 first strike, and the second one is you specialize for free, I guess. But it doesn't even matter, man. The first one being bad just makes the whole card bad. Green Mythic. Don't say this name wrong. Luca Mina. Moondruid. 3 mana 2/2, specialize 3, activate only if you control 6 or more lands. When it ETBs, if you cast it, seek a land card with a basic land type. Activate only if you control 6 or more lands. So it's 3 mana 2/2, draw a land. When it dies, it unspecializes. If it unspecializes, return to battlefield tapped. Huh? Wait. When this creature specializes, tap target non-land permanent opponent controls. Whenever this creature specializes or attacks, create a 2/2. When it dies, it unspecializes. Dude, I am so lost. This one seems pretty bad. Like, I know you need to exile it, but that's not too much of a problem. Playing it the first time is just too shit. 3 mana 2/2 draw a land? Like, if the land came into play or something, you know? You can't specialize this creature because you can never actually cast it in the first place. Check last green one. Bear. Wilson, Bear Comrade. 2/2 reach, trample, ward 2, specialize 4. Reach, trample, life, specialize 4. Reach, trample, lifelink. For 3, exile from graveyard. Creature you control perpetually gains lifelink. Activate only as sorcery. Dude, I'm gonna fall asleep, man. This is actually making me tired. It's hurting my brain. Menace, reach, trample, reach, trample, reach, trample, lifelink. Exile from graveyard, creature gets +1/+1, reach, trample, and ward 2. Alright, at least the mono green one is decent. The rest of them are fucking horrible though. Why is the mono green one so much better than the others? Double strike, reach, trample. Red one isn't awful. I mean, it is, man. It is awful. This is too much mana to spend for way too little benefit. Like, and when you factor in the fact that you can be interacted with when you're trying to do this, even if your opponent does nothing to stop you, it's still not that good at all. Even if it was impossible for an opponent to interact with you, it wouldn't even be that good. Red Mythic. Will. Pact Bound Duelist. Specialized 2. But 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target artifact or creature an opponent controls with mana value 4 or less until end of turn. Alright. Yoink their thing. Then. Pay to sack it. Okay. Get your own thing back. Pay 2 to sack it. Draw a card. Pay 2 to sack it. Become an 8/8. Pay 2 to sack it. Untap your guy. Get another combat. Pay 2 to sack it. Draw 3 cards unless opponent pays 5 life. I give up, chat. I am reasonably confident that every single specialized card is awful if you intend to specialize. You might use this card. It's not bad, at least. Ecuador! Ecuador!